Welcome back to Universe. I'm Andrew, and today I'm opening a booster box of Disney Lorcana. So a couple months ago, when the game came out, I opened an Illumineers Trove, and I've actually got that right next to me. Had some of my sleeves inside. These are Disney Sorcerer's Arena sleeves, but they will work well for Lorcana. I'll put a link in the description if you want to watch the Illumineers Trove opening. But here we've got 12 cards per back, 24 booster packs, and let's see what's inside. So we got a fun pull strip on the back. Pretty irreversible there. And the booster packs. So get the box out of the way. Get the packs on the table. And just start cracking into them. So I haven't played since I did a tabletop simulator demo with, as soon as the rules kind of got revealed, I tried it out. Vicious Betrayal, Donald Duck. I didn't even know he was in the set. He's got a sword. Pumbaa, Jafar. Oh, that's a cool looking. I really like purple. Cerberus, Cinderella, Ransack, Donald Duck, Jafar. Got two Donald Ducks and two Jafars. And this, is that the rare symbol? And a Sword of Truth. And a foil common Simba. And one of these, kind of sick of these. All right, yeah, Sword of Truth and Jafar there were rares. We got common, uncommon, rare, super rare, and legendary. So even though I haven't played, I have, or since that one time, or no, I did play one other time in person. It was a demo at a convention. I don't go to a lot of conventions, but I happened to go to one and was able to play a demo. So I played twice, and I've watched some videos though since then. And I've watched videos of people playing with decks that they put together. Had pretty good, this is another really pretty purple card. Decks people put together that were really strategically cohesive and honestly better than I really intend to put the effort into. I'm not really interested in trying to build some constructed decks. I would be more interested in drafting, but I also just don't go to a lot of stores these days and playing in public events. Not really interested, not been really interested in playing online. Really just me, maybe my wife, my friends, and that's pretty much the people I'm playing games with. Maybe my nieces and nephew as they get older. Okay, Mickey Mouse. So here is that called Legendary? Not an enchanted foil rare version, but Brave Little Tailor, I think, is a card people are excited about. And a foil common. Put this guy in a sleeve just in case. And we can do some piles. Let's do commons. We got our uncommons. Got rares, legendary, and we'll put our various foils there. So for a while I was playing a Magic League with some of my friends, which was really fun. Basically, we would all buy packs. I think it was every 2 weeks we would play, and we could add 2 packs to our card pool. We all started with 6 cards, or 6 packs, and we could pick which packs we wanted. I think we kind of put a kind of friendly restriction, like don't go crazy and buy like a super powerful pack, because some of the packs are more powerful. But for the most part, you can open any pack and you're probably, on a similar power level. So we did that and it was really fun. I really like chaos, like mixing sets, more necessarily than playing just like the designed format. And it's always tough in a new game because there's nothing. There's only a single base set, and usually the base set is designed to be introductory. And I personally tend to prefer when the games get a little bit weirder. I like the crazier mechanics and some of the more interesting card interactions that come from having a bunch of sets work together in unexpected ways. So, oh, here's another legendary. I haven't gotten a super rare, just the legendary. And another foil common. That was an uncommon. So put this with Mickey Mouse. Should we keep Mickey on top? Definitely a more eye-catching card. So part of me is kind of thinking I'd like to do something similar with Lorcana, which is just like get a few cards and then just wait and maybe do some kind of chaos draft or something, or wait until the card pool is big enough where I can put together a weirder, crazier deck, and then actually just buy the singles I need for that. Or I've been building some lists to make some cubes for Magic the Gathering. I don't know. There's a super rare Marshmallow and a Stitch and a uncommon foil Simba. So cube in Magic is basically where you get a bunch of cards together and you can pick whichever cards you want. Although there are lists online where people have basically curated cubes that they would recommend, so you can copy other people's lists and just buy all the cards or assemble the cards from that list, and you put them together and you shuffle them up and you separate them out into 15 card groupings, which you call booster packs. So they're not actual packs, they're like repacks, and you can repack them if you want to in some form or fashion. There's even people who make something called Cuba-Majigs designed for that exact purpose. And you would, oh, here we go. Okay, so foil rare, just in time. You may play a character with cost 5 or less for free. So which pile do we put that in? We'll just put a sleeved foils. It's the same as the foils pile, but it's in sleeves, so it'll stand out. And basically, once you've built your cube and built it out the packs and got some players together, you are going to draft. So if you don't know drafting, everybody looks at their pack of cards, in this case 15 cards at a time. You'll pick one to keep, pass the rest to the person on your left. And when you're drafting a cube, all the cards are going to go back to the cube owner at the end, whereas if you played a draft at a store, you would pay to enter, get some cards, get some packs, and then keep whichever cards you selected. But the cards you select are also going to be the ones, oh here, this is a pretty good card, Whole New World. The cards you select on a really pretty foil, another purple one, Amethyst. Cards you select are what you get to build your deck from. So you got to be careful if you're playing for keeps, which cards do you pick for your collection and which cards do you pick because it's actually going to make your deck better. Because you're going to pick one card at a time, passing the rest to the person on your left until all the cards have been picked, because you'll keep taking the cards from the person on your right. And then you'll do a second pack, this time passing to your right, and then the third pack is passing back to the left. So I put this in the wrong pile. And once you've drafted 45 cards, you will, oh, 2 of the same Tinkerbell in a row, back to back. And out of those cards you've drafted, you build a deck. Usually a smaller deck than normal. Like a Magic deck is normally 60 cards. In draft, you play only 40 cards. Basic lands, which you need in Magic the Gathering, are provided by the store generally, or the owner of the cube. And I guess you can, I think you can draft Lorcana. I think it's built for that. Or they might not have revealed, I think there are plans for draft rules if they haven't revealed them already. But I think it could be draftable. It might be a little weird because you don't play basic lands. So you need more drafted cards to fill out your deck. And you're only supposed to play 2 colors, 2 of the inks out of 6. Where in Magic you can play, usually you play 2 out of the 5, which is a slightly better ratio. So not sure what they would do exactly. Lorcana seems just so close, but like slightly off from actually being workable for draft. But if you built a cube, also the packs don't have the full 15 cards like a Magic pack. I think it's 14 cards basically. But you need fewer cards for your deck because the basic lands fill out the rest of it, and you get more cards per pack. So you might need to draft like 4 packs to play a Lorcana draft or something like that. But if you built a cube, you could just kind of make up your own rules and figure out what works. And again, so a cube would be you choose which Lorcana cards you want to include, put them all in a stack, sort them out into piles, and get the players together to draft them. So I've been making lists for Magic cubes, and now I'm thinking maybe that would be a good way to play Lorcana at some point if I made a cube of Lorcana and then draft that. But for me, part of what's fun about making a cube is picking from 30 years worth of Magic cards. There's like, I always lose track, but there's like 40,000 different Magic cards. Whereas in Lorcana, there's what, 204? It's a big difference. Technically, in most cubes, people play only a single copy of each card, which means, there's still tons and tons of cards you didn't choose. Whereas in Lorcana 204, that's not even enough to finish a cube. A basic, oh, what is that? That is something very shiny. Oh, wow. All right, that's going to interrupt my thought process here for a minute. We got the, whew. Wow, okay. This is Elsa, and this is an enchanted rare. Just looking at the back for a second, but you can look at the front for sure. Wow. 8 cost, 4/6, Spirit of Winter. It is so pretty. Holy crap. She quests for 3, shifts 6. You can pay 6 instead of 8 if you put her on top of another Elsa. When you play her, exert up to 2 chosen characters they can't ready. Wow, I want to keep this forever, but I might have to let it go based on the current price of this card. But wow. All right, well, she's going to go on top forever. Woo! Feel something, feeling hot in here. Elsa, you gotta help me out. Cool it down a little bit. Guess we'll keep opening packs, but that is, makes the box worth it. All right, I might have to watch your movie again. So I heard there was a second one. Disney always does like the direct-to-video, right? Almost a direct-to-VHS. Nobody knows what that means anymore. But the kind of skip the movie theater sequels. And I never saw the second Frozen movie. But I heard it traumatized one of my coworkers' kids, so I don't know if that means I want to watch it or not. Should we even look at the rest of these cards? I mean, there's no point to look at the rest of these cards, right? I'm just kind of like going through the motions now. I guess we can look at them all. We can open all the booster packs. Oh, and there's a foil rare. Jafar, but shiny this time. Pretty cool. We'll put him in a sleeve too. He can be in a sleeve. He gets +1 attack value. I forget what they call it, for each card in your hand. Oh, that's fun. And that would be a cool thing in for a cube, because a lot of times what you want to do in a cube is have like draft archetypes, like strategies that you can build around. Not just like, oh, I'm going to play Amethyst and Steel, for example, but I'm actually going to draft a deck that really wants to have cards in my hand specifically. And so the more cards that exist for the game, the more you can kind of pick through the years of releases and find the cards that work together in those very specific ways. So this could be an extremely powerful card if you built a deck that has a lot of cards in hand. Whereas you might play another Amethyst deck that doesn't care about the cards in hand, and so this card wouldn't be good, or just in some random deck might not be that good. So definitely something to think about when you're building a cube, and that's what I have the most fun with, is building when I've been putting my Magic cube lists together. We'll see if I ever actually build them, because making a list and checking it twice versus actually assembling all of the cards, going through my collection, finding what I have, what I don't have, inventorying a list of cards and singles to buy, and then buying like hundreds of sleeves so that they all the sleeves match. That is a whole different story. But it'd be fun too, for sure. And I've put together some interesting archetypes. So as more Lorcana comes out, it'd be interesting to see what are those archetypes, what cards are really working together to form a strategy, not just when you can play 4 of each card, because that's an important thing. Again, most people, when they play a cube, they play a single copy. You don't have to do that, but especially for a new fledgling game, it'd be very challenging to make a cube where you play with all singletons and somehow build strategic functional archetypes. So it could be a long way off. I don't know. And there's also the question of why would I do a Lorcana cube over Magic? Because Magic's a game I've been playing for 20 years and 23 years, and I have a big collection already. I have a lot of knowledge, and I have friends who already like the game. And honestly, I like the theme of Magic more than Lorcana. I mean, am I talking about just all the wrong stuff for a Lorcana box opening? Talking about cubes, cube drafting, and why I like Magic more. But again, Magic has a huge advantage because it's got so many different cards that I can mess around with, so many different strategies that are kind of off the wall, and I really like that. Oh, that's interesting. It's 1 cost, 1/1, but she quests for 2. So that's pretty interesting. Seems like a pretty good card. Yeah, I love being able to do off the wall stuff. So that's why having years of releases is an advantage over any new game that comes out. Like I played a bit of Grand Archive a while back. I know they've come out with their second set. I think the third set is just it's a different Elsa. These are not the same. Third set's being announced, and again, kind of like Lorcana, I want to like it, but I only have so much money to go around. Not like I actually keep up with Magic releases either, which I don't. But I can't like go around collecting and building decks for every game as much as I might want to. Another foil rare. Nice. Hades. But even if I did, I don't really have the time or the people to play them all. I could if I don't know if that's really social anxiety, but I've grown out of the desire to go hang out and meet people at game stores. Whenever I go into a game store, I'm kind of jealous and like nostalgic for the people I always see just like sitting around the tables, chatting, having fun, playing. But I just don't want to. And same with online. It's almost worse online. Just really not interested for some reason. Never been super social, but I wonder if it's even worse now. It's like you kind of get to an age where you like found your friends and there's just no need to keep looking, I guess. Maybe that's what it is. I got married a few months ago. I have my best friends. You know, I said I started playing Magic 23 years ago. Well, that's when I met one of my best friends and friends with his wife and some other friends I met in college, and we're all like hanging out playing board games and other games together, playing the occasional Magic League. Once you kind of found your friends, I feel like I don't need to keep looking. I don't need to spend time meeting other people. Did I get this? I think I got a foil of this same card before. This is an uncommon, so yeah, I think I got of that foil in my Illumineer's Trove as well. Yeah, the energy's been a little downhill since we had our mid-box climax. Sergeant Tibbs and a Stitch. Plus, I ran out of things to say about cubes, I guess, without actually just turning this into a cube video. If you would be interested in I like this card a lot. I think this card's really good. It's 3 cost, Singer 5, so she can exhaust, or whatever they call it in this game, to sing a 5 cost song. And when you play her, you get a song from the top of your deck. You only get to look at 4 cards though, so it's a reasonable chance you miss. This would be another cube archetype, like do a strong like singing sing-song archetype where you want to have a lot of songs in your deck and play cards like Ariel. But yeah, at this point, if you want to play a cube, another foil rare, you only have a few options of how to do it. I mean, I think the second set is coming this year, so soon-ish, Rise of the Floodborn. So you'll get a little more cards to work with. And I believe the second set is supposed to really supplement the base set. Like it's almost like they're one big set that just released separately. Whereas some sets in some games they release and they don't really work together. The cards don't work together. But I think for Lorcana set 1 and 2, they are designed to work together, and it kind of completes the overall base experience that they're intending, I think. Which is good for if you want to build a cube, because it means a lot of the cards are probably going to work together. So one thing to think about, another super rare or legendary, John Silver, an alien pilot. He gets to be a super rare or legendary. 6 cost 5/5, 2 questing. When you play him and when he quests, opposing character gains reckless. They can't quest and must challenge. All right. So you can kind of make them fight. Like if this is your only, no, if this is your only character, it doesn't work because they won't be able to challenge him because he won't be exhausted because you just played him. But if he quests and that triggers pick your fights, then you would be able to force your opponent to then fight him. So like if this is your only character, you quest with him, challenge your opponent's character, and now they are reckless and have to challenge John Silver, and him being a 5/5 means he probably just beats them up. So that's useful. And depending on what your other characters are when you play him, it'll be slightly less useful, but yeah, I can see this being strong. And a foil common Mickey Mouse. I think we'll still keep this Mickey on top. I guess I should just leave my super rares. What else was I saying about the archetypes? Oh, the options for building a Lorcana cube at this point. Either you double up on a lot of cards, so you could pick your archetypes and then just ignore the common rule. It's not even a rule, but it's just so common that at least when people build magic cubes, they only have a single copy of each card, so just ignore that. Play as many copies of each card as you need for that archetype. And again, nobody's guaranteed to be getting these cards because you're drafting them, but the fact that they exist means those archetypes are more likely to show up. And then the other important thing to keep in mind is the question of how many people are going to be playing your draft, because magic cubes are built with the assumption that it's going to be 8 people. We got a bell. Nice card. Another legendary. During your turn, you can put an additional card to your inkwell. Very powerful. While you have 10 or more, she gets +4 questing. Quest for 5. Wow. Yeah, I saw this being played by somebody in one of the videos I watched. It was very powerful. And a foil super rare. Foil super rare genie. Nice. Seems like a really good pack. I think Bell's a pretty strong card, and a foil super rare here. We'll sleeve up both of those. So if you want 8 people to be able to draft, you might have struggles finding enough cards. But if you just have, say you could build a cube for just 2 players. Drafting is a bit weird with 2 players. There are some cube or draft variants that work well for 2 players. But that is something to keep in mind. You could do a 2-player cube designed for just 2 people to play. Archetypes would be hard to manage. You also might have to fudge the rules with the colors, especially with there being 6 different inks in Lorcana. Like a magic draft with 5 colors, only 1 color would maybe get left out. Whereas in Lorcana, a whole third of the cards, instead of only 20%, would be left out if you're sticking to that 2 inks per player rule. But if you make a draft for like 4 players, that could be more reasonable cube size. And also, this is going to be our final pack. Doesn't matter what's in here. It's a very successful box. Very happy with this. I mean, just in review here, obviously that 1 card will do it. Foil super rare. Several foil rares. 1, 2, 3, 4 super rares. I don't know how, or foil rares. I don't know how many it's normal. And then 3 legendaries, 4 legendaries, Mickey Mouse, pretty good, and Belle, quite good. And then this is probably just my favorite of the super rares, the Ariel. So anyway, let me know if you were all, I kind of went off. I didn't plan to talk about cubes during this video, but I certainly went off on it. If you are interested in more cube conversations, let me know, whether it be for Lorcana. I don't know what I would talk about, but maybe I could do something at some point. And then also for Magic, because again, I have built some Magic cube lists. I have not actually built the Magic cubes. I did a long time ago. When I was in college, I had a Pauper Magic cube, which is kind of just commons I liked. And I had a lot of fun, and everybody else made fun of me, but they still played it with me, and we all had fun. So I liked it a lot. Mickey Mouse Artful Rogue, super rare. And final foil is the Wayward Sorcerer. Wow. Another foil super rare. And it's a very pretty purple one too. And this is another archetype. This is probably the most enticing archetype for me. I actually don't know how well it's supported at all, but your brooms cost one less, and whenever one of your brooms is banished in a challenge, you can return it to your hand. So obviously you would want to build a deck with a lot of brooms in it. So you would want to put a lot of broom cards in the cube to make sure this card could function. And hopefully there'd be other broom synergies in the cube that players would have the opportunity to draft if this was going to be an archetype that works. And again, I don't even know if those cards exist. For all I know, there's only a single broom that works with this Mickey Mouse. But that's another problem with small sets or beginning games, is they just don't have a lot of cards in general. Very happy with the box. I like talking about cubes, even though that's not what I intended to do. Give us something to do while we just look at the cards. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and bye.